Hey, what's going on, Flash Mob? It's your boy Flash, and I'm back again with another video. And it seems like every time I open YouTube, there's a brand new hot camera that's hitting the market. And it seems like every influencer is telling you that it's the next greatest thing, that within the next few months, they're selling it. I'm going to talk about why I'm never selling my Komodo's. And in my opinion, why they're the best cameras for mid to high-end productions right now. If it's your first time here, welcome. My channel is all about helping you turn your passion into paychecks whilst taking you along my filmmaking journey. If that's the kind of thing that you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Let's break down some of the things that makes a camera appealing in the first place in 2025. So the first thing is it's got to be at least able to shoot in 4K. I mean, the standard TV or computer screen or even your cell phone screen is at least a 4K monitor. So if your camera that you're shooting with can't do 4K, you might be in a little trouble. The camera should have some decent frame rates, at least up to about 120 frames per second. And if you're not too sure about what frames per second is, it's all about your slow motion. But we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail just now. I believe that your camera needs to be lightweight and portable, because we don't just sit down and film at home anymore. We use our cameras wherever we want to be at. So they got to pack up. They got to be able to travel with you. They got to be easy to use. Imagine having a camera and you can't figure out how to use it at all. In my opinion, that's got to be one of the most important things about a camera, because that's how you get a great image, by knowing how to use the camera. And because most of us do our own editing, it's got to have a clean and simple workflow. And finally, it's got to be modular. I got to be able to use this camera for an at-home studio setup like this, a run and gun setup if I'm going to be doing something on the road, or something like a full production if I'm shooting a documentary or a movie or something crazy. So yeah, that's a huge one for me as well. If you think I missed anything, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. So let's break down each one of those a little bit. So the Komodo and Komodo X give you the ability to shoot up to 6K resolution. Now that's important because a lot of cameras nowadays, the base is about 4K. I mean, even your cell phone gives you the ability to shoot up to 4K. So with the ability to shoot up to 6K, that ensures that you're going to be able to cover yourself in the present. And depending on how fast technology grows, you'll be safe for another few years at least. And I know that there's cameras right now that shoot 6, 8, and some that even shoot 12K, which is completely overkill. And in terms of the quality that you're getting, there's a significant difference is all I'm going to say. But for now, with these Komodo's, I'm totally fine with shooting up to that 6K resolution. Let's talk about frame rates. So if you've never heard about frame rates, or you maybe heard it but you don't know what it is, it's basically how many frames per second is being captured by your camera when you're shooting for slow motion. So the higher the frame rates means the more seconds that are being captured, which ultimately means that you get a slower, smoother slow motion. And for any of you guys that are interested in learning more about these technical aspects of these cameras, I'll let you know that Filmmaker's doors are wide open for our early birds, which is currently discounted for a lifetime membership. Now, those prices are not going to stay that low for long, so I definitely recommend, if you're interested, go ahead and take a look at the link in the description and enroll today. I'm going to throw up the frame rates on both cameras right now. And as you can see, the Komodo gives you pretty decent frame rates. And then with the Komodo X, it basically doubles each frame rate that the camera can do. And if you've never shot with Reds before, basically if you want to shoot in a slower slow motion, all you have to do is bump down that resolution and you pretty much get twice as much frames per second. Now with Reds, depending on what you're filming and how slow you want it to be, sometimes you need to make the decision if you need it to be, a higher resolution or a lower resolution so that you can get the desired frame rates that you want. One of the small setbacks, but you get pretty used to it really quickly. So let's talk about their size and their weight. Now, this is probably my favorite part about the Komodo's. And the reason why is because I used to shoot with the Scarlett W, which was a great camera. I loved it in terms of what it was able to shoot, how it looked, everything was great, but it was big. And not only was the body big, it was awkward. And it was just about impossible to fit it on any of the modern gimbals that you see today. Now with these Komodo's, they're basically a little cube that you set up how you need to set up, and it can pretty much do anything you need it to do. And one of the things that stood out to me when it was time to actually travel, so when I had a destination wedding or I had to be in another place where I need to bring my camera, this packs down so small. And not only that, I can include my handles, batteries, monitors, everything, and it takes up a quarter of the space of what I used to have to go with. And the other thing with a camera this size is I can hold it way longer. A few years ago, before I discovered the gym, I'm just a skinny little guy just trying to do my thing in the camera space, and it was difficult to say the least. But with this camera now, and I mean, the additional muscle that I put on, it is an absolute breeze. And honestly, I just love the way these cameras look. Whether you're using it as a handheld camera or it's fully rigged out for production, it just looks beautiful. Quick question for you guys. Have you ever shot with a Red camera before? Let me know in the comments below. And if this video is helping you anyway, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like the video as well. So let's talk about its ease of use. Now, pending you understand how the exposure triangle works, which is actually something that we're also going to be talking about in the Filmmaker Pro course, so enroll now. It's as simple as tapping the screen and putting in what settings you want. Maybe you want to do something wild like, I don't know, mute the camera. Well, you tap on the little audio bars and you just pull down the audio channels and you're done. It's that simple. Basically, what it means is if you have some common sense and you know how to use a touchscreen, you can probably operate a Red Komodo. This type of ease of use is especially important in environments where you need to make changes on the fly. I remember there was a time when I was hired in to be a camera operator, and the DP was letting me know that he wanted me to turn on my time code. And this was before I discovered time code really, and I was like, damn, I don't know how to do time code. But because, like I said, I have common sense, I know how a touchscreen works, I found a little TC that's standing for time code. I tapped on that, turned it on, and plugged in the time code generator. And just like that, I was good to go. Next up is workflow. Over the years, I have become extremely accustomed to how Red cameras work in their R3D files. And I've worked with Sony, Blackmagic, Canon, all of them are pretty good, but none of them really gave me the same experience as these Red files. What I mean by that is, the first thing that I noticed is that their playback was also a bit choppy, especially on Sony cameras for whatever reason. Now, I know some of you guys are probably going to be in the comments like, well, you know, Ari has the best camera files and workflow and blah, blah, blah. Now, that's all great, but from my experience, I've never actually worked with Ari files before. So as of right now today, that's why these are my favorite file types. The other thing that I really love about these Red files is when it's time to actually take them in and start color grading them. Because you're using raw files, you can absolutely manipulate your clips to make them look however you want. And that was a huge selling feature for me. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is this modularity. With this camera, it's easy for me to have a run and gun camera as light as possible to a setup that I can throw on a gimbal and do what I got to do with that, and all the way up to a full-blown production camera. It's amazing. It's so easy to build a cage that best suits your needs. If you want a side handle, you get a side handle. You want a top handle, you get a top handle. You want to add accessories or 50mm rods, you get the accessories and you put it on the camera. And what's also great is that there are so many different manufacturers that make these different modular pieces for the Red camera. So literally, if you can think of it, you can probably do it. If you stuck around, I'm going to give you a bonus one, and that's Camera to Cloud. Now, this is something that I heard about a few years ago from a company called Frame.io. And essentially what Camera to Cloud is allowing you to do is if you had internet connection wherever you are, you can pretty much film things onto your camera. And as it's filming, when you hit the stop button, it starts uploading to a cloud. What that means is by the time you're ready to leave, all of the files and everything that you've recorded is safely uploaded to a cloud somewhere. Now, where that starts getting interesting is let's say you actually have an editor. So think about it. As you're filming, it's uploading to a cloud to your editor that's at home, and they can start chopping up that footage and doing what they got to do with it right away. That type of technology is something that I'm here for. Now, it's obviously not the greatest right now because Red files are large. That's the first thing. And on top of that, you need a good internet connection to be able to get the speeds required to upload it to a cloud all in one day. But we're slowly getting there, and I'm just happy that we're actually part of the conversation. And with that kind of technology just keep on coming down the pipeline, it also helps that Red cameras allow you to upgrade their software, which gives you new features that you gain access to. So yeah, I'm definitely here for all that. But yeah, that's simply what it is for me. You can do so many things with this camera. And because of its size, modularity, workflow, and all those things that we mentioned, it just makes your life a little bit easier when you start getting to those higher productions. I'm sure there's going to be better options down the line, but for right now, this is what I'm rocking with. And like I said, I am not getting rid of these anytime soon. Now, I have a question. Would you guys consider getting a Red Komodo right now in 2025? Let me know in the comments below. And if you hate these cameras, actually, I want to know about that as well. I want to know about your experience. So yeah, leave something in the comments. We can have a conversation about that. But yeah, for now, that's going to be it for this video. I want to say thank you guys again for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. It's free, it's easy, and it's what helps this channel grow. Yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thanks again for watching. And remember to look, learn, and share. Take it easy, guys. Peace.